Hello, friends, and welcome to my channel. Thank you for tuning in and for finding me. It means a lot to me. Really awesome to see all the readings that are coming through, and thank you to everyone who is booking me for astrological chart reports and phone consultations with me. Please be patient with me. Like I have mentioned before, it is an Amazon. Everyone gets a turn. Everyone gets to talk to me and connect with me. And for me to show up on the level that I want and need to show up for you, it is subject to a lot of things. It's subject to where I'm at with my mind, where I'm at with the planetary correlations. Like, I am a mystic, and this type of work is very personal. Okay, so what you get from me in terms of what I bring when you book me for a reading is integrity, clarity. You get my knowledge. You get to plug your power socket into my brain, okay? You get counsel, and you get truth. And on the subject of that, I decided I was originally going to be starting my new series, which I'll be talking about George Orwell's 1984 and why Orwell is so important right now and why we're kind of heading into an Orwellian time. But for this chat, I would like to share with you what it is like for a split second being in my head. As you know, this is a realm. It is a mind. I am a man with a fucking mind. Okay? For a lot of people, this freaks people out. It makes them run. It makes them very fearful. It makes them feel that, especially when you're dealing with someone who is extrasensory, is that I can access information on you without your permission. Okay, that's the thing that most people are very scared of when it comes to an occultist or an astrologer or a psychic. Okay, so that being said, I just had a minute and I thought I would share with you just a split second of what it's like living inside this type of mindset. It's a very heavy duty mind, and it is for me personally because I have a Sagittarius Stellium in my chart. So if you don't know what a stellium is when you have three or more, or usually three placements within the same sign. Okay, so it's like turning up that sign to like level 1000, depending on where it's sitting, of course. So for me, it's a rising and it is a sun. My moon is in Aries. All right. So yeah, it's not like a Gemini's mind where being inside a Gemini's mind is very much like being inside a pinball machine. It's very impulsive and it's very bouncy. Being in a Sagittarian's mind is like a wizard sitting out in the forest on a tree stump, smoking a really good fucking mushroom, concoction mixed with some kind of poisonous frog that is having their, 1000th dark night of the soul. And at some point, what happens with a lot of Sagittarian people as they age, we start to reject a lot of the world and a lot of the bullshit of the human world. A lot of us start to want to go back to a lifestyle that is very clean, very truthful, and very simple. So man-made places, metropolitan living in a concrete jungle is just repulsive to a Sagittarius Stellium, especially with very high degrees. All right? So this could be something, if you're a Sagittarian and you have a Sagittarian family or whatever, friends or whoever, that this is not anything new. All right? But if you are a Sagittarian, this is probably going to make sense to you, all right? I would rather be getting high on some kind of spiritual trips, floating up in the ether. Luckily, I have a lot of Venus in my chart, so I love beauty. I love nature. And the ultimate life for me would be being completely off the matrix wheel, being off the hamster wheel and living an ulterior kind of lifestyle that is connected to nature and making art, being free, swimming in the sea naked, and doing giant paintings and traveling the world, trying to understand cultures, living in a very tropical place that you can just walk out of the house and jump straight into a beautiful pond or swimming pool, body of water with lots of vines, lots of green, giant big jungle temples and things like that. Lots of animals. That's all me. I have a very wild side to me that is very much rooted in the primal aspect of what it is to actually be a man and hold myself in my own masculinity. And I have talked about this before in previous videos. People that have strong Sagittarian stelliums or even strong Sag moons or suns, we often do this thing where we go walkabout, where we don't want to be contacted. We don't want you to email us. We don't want you to talk to us. You are annoying us. Your energy, if it grates against us, or if it's too full on, or if it's too demanding, it feels naggy and it feels restrictive. To have a relationship with Sagittarians, you have to be able to let them feel like they are free and let us be like an Amazon that fucks a cowboy. When you think of a Sagittarius, when I think of myself, sometimes I think of like a cowboy, like, you shot me, partner, like that type of thing. It's nomadic. It's like, I've lived so many different lives. I've lived in so many different houses. I've had so many strange relationships. I've had so many different jobs. I've learned so much about life. Sagittarians are not interested in bureaucracy or politicians or red tape or some fat, lazy Karen or some asshole that's sitting in some corporate job that likes to create regulation rules that prohibits people from growing a garden in their back, in the back of their property. All Sagittarians, if you're hearing this right now, fucking holler. We don't want to get caught up in all this bullshit. We are not interested in getting caught up in like stupid internal politics at work and people playing stupid fucking mind games with us. We are so over it. It's pathetic. Okay? So that's the truth. I'm sharing this to you. So if you've ever heard a video from me, hear this and get it good. There will come a time in my life where I will probably get to a place where I've completely exited the matrix. I've got enough money. I'm set up. I've got my house out in the forest. I do enjoy doing readings because I'm very, very good at what I do. I'll probably have a giant yurt in the back of my property. If you don't know what a yurt is, it's like a giant kind of shamanic kind of tent-like structure that will have like a fire in the center of it and lots of rugs and deer skins all laid on the ground with lots of big kind of cowhide rugs and skins and deer horns and giant pillows with giant crystals and I will be in there doing my thing, not to be disturbed. Wizards need a lot of time on their own. Even going down the street as an awakened person and dealing with some bitch that has an attitude or doesn't even have any level of energy or personality, she can't even say hello to you when she's like making you a coffee. It's just so repulsive. People are so greedy and so deplorable at this point that basic human interaction, and I don't care where you are, you will be affected by this because this is where we're headed. It's really gone downhill. I was just walking the other day. I walk my dog for very long walks. We go for like 10, 15 kilometer walks every day along the sea. And I really enjoy that time with my dog. She is my familiar, and she is a beautiful brown Shar-Pei cross chocolate Labrador. And there's something else in her as well. And I think that symbolically, my dog suits my energy. She is very gentle at times, and at other times, she is particularly vicious and protective and loyal and a little bit scary. Sometimes I look into her eyes and I can see a whole other world going on with her. Okay? She's a little bit crazy. And I think to be a creative or to live a life of integrity in this world now, you have to be a little bit crazy. I think this world's so fucked up that it probably will break you and you'll crack. You will have a moment where, you're going to break. You will. Don't think you won't, you will. Okay, so getting back to my point here, understanding a Sagittarius and the stellium of what that means is that I'm a very mystical person. Okay, so I'm interested in the real thing. When I make art, it is a very spiritual experience. It's not something that I can just switch on and off when I feel like it. Everything has to feel right. I've got to be in the right state of mind. I can't be disturbed. What really annoys Sagittarians is when people send me messages or they'll send you a message and they have this expectation that I'm supposed to respond to them quickly and do what they want me to do for them or be this thing that they want me to be when I never agreed to it. So any level of invisible strings will never work. Never. They will ghost you. They will disappear. You'll never hear from them again. Sagittarians, we are the most elusive of the zodiac, and we're very restless. We have restless hearts. So in conversations, you have to be able to get to the meat on the bone. We don't want long, drawn out, boring conversations about like stupid shit. Why talk about something that's superficial when you can talk about the meaning behind it and how it was created? All right. So there's that philosophical side to the Sag, which is like an old man, a wizard, a philosophical being. And the other side is a wild animal. And I have that as well. Yeah. Like it needs to hunt. It needs to fuck. It needs to bury its face in something primal and sniff it like a dog. You probably know that a lot of Sagittarians are very good at sex. We know how to fuck. We know how to take care of you. We are capable people. And we're attracted to people that also can handle that for real. So it's really about big energy. And a lot of people become very, very jealous of Sagittarians. They become very jealous of someone that is very sure of themselves, because a lot of people are NPCs, they're non-playing characters. So their natural default setting is to follow what's trending and to follow what's popular. Sagittarians are much like Aquarians in that way. We are not interested in what's trending or what looks aesthetically interesting to the mainstream to fit in. We're in the opposite direction of that. All right? I've often thought that Mary Poppins from Disney's, Disney's Mary Poppins would be a perfect example also of a Sagittarius. This is a person that will come into your life in kind of an unexpected way, and they are a little bit like the Kali energy. We know Kali energy is very Sagittarian. It's about destroying things that don't work, smashing them down, getting it out of the way, realigning, readjusting, and giving you a teaspoon of medicine, and help that shit go down and get that into your brain, get you to tell the truth. Okay, because as soon as you tell the truth, the sooner you will be free. The sooner you tell the truth, the sooner you will be free to go. Okay? So the problem with that you come up against, and I come up against a lot, even in my readings, is people say they would like a reading, and then I get into it and I say something that they don't want to hear that challenges their own sense of self-concept, and they get mad. No woman really wants to hear that her husband's gay and that he's getting fucked up the ass by other men. No woman wants to hear that. No woman wants to hear that they are really lazy and they could be doing a lot more. No woman wants to hear that. All right? So we could all be doing a lot more. That's the truth. We all have a lot of free time. If you're on your phone, you've got time. So these days, there's no excuses. If you really, truly want something, the information is all free on the internet. I can learn how to make a BOMB on the internet. The Lesser Key of Solomon is on the fucking internet for free, for Christ's sake. I can learn how to summon a demon. I can learn how to charge a sigil. So when people come to me and they say, I want to get involved, the first thing I look at, it's like, well, what are you doing? What are you doing other than watching some YouTube videos? What's your practice? What's your discipline? What are you doing? 9 times out of 10, they're doing fuck all. So the true nature of a Sag coming from, just hear it from me right now, this type of conversation to a lot of people is very blunt. It's very jarring to hear someone speak like this. But I'm not saying it this way to upset you or to shell shock you. I'm just saying it because to someone like myself, I don't see any other way other than to say it how I see it. Why do I have to sugarcoat myself for your comfort? That's the thing about Sagittarian, any level of Jupiter placements, even Leo placements, Aries placements, any of us fire signs, why the hell do we have to contain our big energy and shrink that down to make you feel comfortable? That's why a lot of people have a lot of trouble with big dick energy, because they don't want to raise the bar in themselves. All right? It's the truth. I'm not playing small. I'm not doing it. I know the life that I want and I'm going after it, because I will not accept a life that I do not deserve. So if I left you behind, it's because I outgrew you. It's because you were not growing. It's because you yourself were unwilling to change and evolve. Sagittarians in a relationship, whether it's a friendship or whether it is a lover, we are committed to telling the truth with ourselves. All right. Of course, we get dark-sided signs. Of course, we get people that don't want to tell the truth. It's very common. But the thing is, Sagittarians will get to a place where they feel that you're not growing with them. They feel that you're stagnating. You know, if I have a friend and I'm still having the same conversations with them that I was having with them, say 4 or 5 years ago, I'll just get rid of them. All right? Because same with the relationship. It's like, it's a very, very tricky thing to have a relationship with the Sag. I think that a lot of the time you don't really get us in a conventional sense. I think that you get us more like a friend for life, a really loyal friend. That's what you really get. A really loyal friend that knows how to fuck, that knows how to, you know, daddy energy, the daddy. Go, shh, 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 it's okay. I've got you. That type of thing, right? That's the truth. So we will choose our spiritual journey and our destiny over someone else and their inability to show up and do the work for themselves. It's really that simple. So in a relationship, straight up, if you don't have a level of intensity, a level of passion, a level of determination, and, you know, a level of self-truth that you're living in, because I'm like a bloodhound, I can just sniff it out really quick, right? The moment I feel that you're lying to yourself, you will lie to me. All right. So anyone who does any level of splitting of identity, a lot of closeted gay men do this a lot, where they try and split their identity. I would never, ever trust them. Because if you can lie to yourself, imagine what that person is capable of doing to other people. Okay. So it's a tricky one. You know, how many times have you got a friend that gets a gym membership and then never goes? They said they were going to lose all this weight, and then 6 months later, 9 months later, they're not 1 pound lighter. They haven't lifted one weight. They're drinking a fucking bottle of red wine every night. They're knocking back the drinks. Really? So the thing is, if you said that you were going to do something, words mean nothing to us. It's your actions. We are results based. If the results are not there, we're not interested. Show me the results. We know that to get something of value, it requires diligence and effort and hard work. That's why having a six-pack is of such high value, because it's hard to get. Do you understand? So that's how we see it. We like to keep things spicy. The effort and energy that we bring into the conversations has to be deep, and it has to be able to, you got to keep bringing new things in. If you're low in energy, very tired, lethargic, yawning a lot, you're in the middle, you're a fucking fence sitter, then I have no time for you. If you're a fence sitter, if you've got low energy, I just don't have time for you. I will choose myself over you every single time, because your low energy and low effort feels restrictive to me. If I surround myself with people that are low achievers, that don't have goals, you're useless. You're absolutely useless. And that's the truth. And that's why Sagittarians will fuck you off. They'll get rid of you. If you're really bitchy, or if you're indecisive and you are doing the Gemini thing where you say one thing and you do another, and you bitch about the person you were just talking about and you come to us, we're going to see straight through you. You'll never, ever hear from us again. We're going to push you away and we're going to fuck you off immediately. Because what we want is someone who can hold us to accountability, because that's what we're going to do for you. So the moment that I'm not being honest with myself, the moment I need to hear that, I need you to tell me that, because that's what I'm going to give you. All right. So when Sagittarians discover discipline, it's a very, very powerful thing, because you're merging the mind of an advanced kind of angelic force with a beast that gets shit done. Not talking about stuff, getting it done. That's why a lot of occultists, a lot of people in the spiritual community, people that are into spirituality, a lot of you are overeducated spiritually and underachievers. Because it's all about, like, I'm unpacking all my trauma and I'm doing all this work on my trauma. And like, at some point, you have to get on with your life. That's the truth. Get over it. Get on with your life. At some point, you're living life. Life is moving very, very quickly. It's moving so quick, it's not even close to funny. I'm going to be doing a video talking about time and something that actually did shift a few years ago. A few of us have already felt it and know this, but just sharing with you now, around 2020, a very significant shift happened with time. Does time exist, or is it just clocks? All right, this type of stuff is of interest to me. Time is moving so fast. So if you're not getting a destination, you've got no place to go. And if you've got no place to go, well, I don't know how that's going to work. You're just fucking floundering around, going through the motions, getting jerked around by the current. Super boring. I know this is savage, but it's the truth. That's why most of you are broke. Most of you are full of shit. You're full of excuses, full of nonsense. And I'm sick of it. That's why a lot of my friends this year, I just limit my time with them until it just drifts away like two ships in the ocean. Bye. Just let them go. If you believe that 5 + 5 = 20, good luck. Have fun. Have fun playing make-believe. Okay? Mary Poppins was a Sagittarius. We usually come into your life when something is ending or when something is beginning. We're going to look at that dysfunction. We're going to get straight to the root of it. What is the cause of it? We're not looking at treating it. We're looking at getting to the cause of it, fixing it, adjusting it, or you don't. And you get stuck on that loop and you can just stay there. And at some point, you'll get a good grace period with me. Everyone gets a good grace period, especially people that come from dysfunctional minorities. Of course you do. You get a big daddy hug, and then we go, okay, look, I understand you've come from a dysfunctional, fucked up culture, you poor little thing, let's see what we can do to help you. But at some point, if you are not going to start getting out of the victim mindset, well, then you're just a victim. And don't think you're not. You are. A lot of people are just victims. It's the truth. You're just a victim. That's a mindset. Everything that broke me helped me rebuild myself. If I lived in my victimhood, what use would I be to anyone, even myself? That's why a lot of Sagittarians have problems with a lot of these Libra energies. If you're in the middle, you're a fucking fence sitter. In the middle, you complain about all of the atrocities and all the liberties that are being taken away from us when COVID happened, and you're in the Facebook chat groups complaining about how poorly the pandemic was managed. And then on the flip side, you're getting caught out having your 5th booster, lining up to have your next booster shot. You can't play both sides with a Sagittarian. It is absolute full body commitment. That's why in a relationship, I wouldn't date someone to date them. I would date someone to marry them. We're looking for life partners, the real thing. That means no one else is fucking my partner except me. Straight up. I'm like a dog like that. I piss on the boots. Alpha men and men that are in their masculine, that own things and contain things. We can't have things just like all willy-nilly, everyone's fucking my partner, and it's just, if everyone can have you, then you're of no value. It's the truth. Sorry. If you're in an open relationship, I'm sorry to say it's not real. And it's very, very difficult to prolong something and sustain something that isn't real. So that's why Sagittarius, we're real, we're raw, we're not perfect, and we own that. If we made a mistake, hey, I fucked up, I own it. I'm not pretending, I'm not gonna come across like the golden child like a Libra, but I know that I can't be in the middle. So it's you choose a side and you're loyal to that team. There's no in between. There's no games, there's no bullshit. That's why I can't be fucked with power struggles with people. I cannot be bothered with power struggles, especially in a fucking workplace. A lot of people have crossed me and they wish they had not. Had they have left me alone and just worked with me, never had a problem with me, I had no problem with them. They got threatened by me, they came after me, and how did that go for them? All right? So same with spiritual practices. There's no dabbling. Ask a priest. That's why they have exorcisms. That's why they have trained priests that have to go out. There's hundreds of thousands of them. This is no joke. It's because some silly little bitch decided that she was going to communicate with the spiritual world. She was going to dip her toe in. There's no dabbling. You're either full body commitment in something or don't even bother doing it. There's no in between. It is, people would say, oh, that's very black and white. Yes, it is. Nature is very much like that too. You can't expect to have success if you're burning a candle to an angel and then on the other hand, you're burning a candle to a demon. You can't be in the middle of polarity of something. The middle ground is where things go to die. So as soon as you get your head around that and make the commitment to yourself and show up for yourself, get out of your excuses, get out of all of this bullshit, you can start to really grow and do something awesome. But if you can't do that, well then how far could this ever really go? All right, so Sagittarians, we need freedom. We are like the cowboy, the shaman. A lot of older like Sagittarian men tend to like settle down later in life. That's just how we kind of are. You know, I've been single for a long time because I need a being that is of equal or greater value than me. We understand that we're not all equal in this world. We're not. And people get offended when you say that and they think that you're a narcissist for saying that. No, you're not. We all know a beautiful person when we see one. We all know a very, very attractive person when we see one. A lot of people get very threatened by that because they can't be it or they can't have it or they can't have it without paying money for it. A lot of men get very threatened by beautiful women because they can't get access to them without paying for it. We're all on different levels. Sexual marketplace value is very, very real. Everyone likes to pretend that doesn't exist, but this world is based on levels. The spiritual world is based on levels. The angel world is based on levels. The demonic world is based on a hierarchy of levels. Youth, wealth, race, beauty, social status, all of this stuff plays into it. Okay? So we're not all equal. Everything is based on contrast. I'm just wording it to you in a way that's very clear and easy to understand. And it has to be that way. If I'm really tall, then I'll experience what it feels like to be tall, standing next to you. If you're really short and you stand next to me, then you will experience what it feels like to stand next to someone who's taller than you. Okay, do you understand? So when you get comfortable with yourself, you're not in competition with anyone. You're just doing your own thing, like I've always done. So this is not an ego thing. It's just me I'm sharing this to you for free. This is serious stuff. It's really important to get your head around it when you're dealing with a Sag, because we want to go far. We want to travel. We want to have an adventure. We're here to live. We're not interested in getting bogged down in red tape and bureaucracy and lazy people with lazy bullshit excuses that are sitting in the middle. No sugarcoating. If you're fat, if you're some great big fat bitch and you can't get attention, probably dyed your hair blue so you can get some attention. big bull nose ring through your nose. That's why you're doing it. Straight up. We know that you don't get an out of jail free card, or if you don't deserve to get any level of fame or attention or reward unless you fucking earn it from your hard work and merit. You can't demand someone to give you attention just based on the fact that you like to suck dick. No one cares about your sexuality. No one gives a fuck about that. Who are you as a person? What are you bringing to the table? That's what we're interested in. What's your mind like? What's your work ethic like? What's your talent like? Do you have a nice personality? What are you into? You know, a lot of this whole thing where it's like I will be doing a video talking about millennials and the boomers and how there's this massive gap between the two. They're both at war with each other in a lot of ways. But what happened was a lot of people now, it's like, if I say I'm this made up word, then that's how I get attention. That's how I get approval instantly. And I'm sorry to say that doesn't work. It just doesn't work. You have to earn it through merit and hard work and diligence and effort. No one's handed a win. Sagittarians know this. All right, so if you've got a lover that you're with and the Sag is leaving you on red, or they've checked out, or they're a bit slow to reply, it could be because they sometimes might need extra time. Like myself, it takes me a long time to contemplate and decipher things. But once I've made the decision, I'm very committed to my decision-making process. I don't regret my decisions because I trust myself. I back myself because I know who I am. Someone who doesn't know who they are is weak. That's why society, in terms of like woke culture, it's all about keeping someone confused because then they'll be weak. The law of identity is very, very important. When we start fucking around with that, we're training people, creating people to become controllable, which is what ultimately the agenda wants anyway, which is why it's doing this. But I see that. So yeah, if they've checked out, it's because they've checked out. They're bored of you. You feel restrictive. You feel like they don't want to walk around on eggshells. Like I don't want to walk around on eggshells with someone. And I don't want you to walk around on eggshells around me. I don't want to change you. I don't want you to, definitely you will not be changing me. So yeah, it's a tricky one with these Sages. And this is what it's like having a Sagittarius Stellium. I've got all of this placement in me. So it's really heavy duty stuff. Okay, so I hope all of this has made sense. And I just wanted to share this with you from my heart. Some people would look at this and go, oh my God, that's so unhinged, but it's not. If we can't have chats on this level, then like, what are we talking about here? I want to build a business. I want to get to a place where I become completely off the matrix. I want to be absolutely free. And freedom comes from truth. Lies trap you. Lies is what restricts you. So this is what it's like being inside of a Sagittarius's head. It's a lot. But it's real and it's raw, and I'd rather put this out there so you can feel it and hear it in my voice and just get it from me right now rather than pretending. So I will leave it here. Love and blessings to you. Holla to all those Sagittarians. You know, people give these fire signs a hard time. What the fuck is a fire sign supposed to do? All right, fire needs wood to burn. So bring the wood. Let's get a bonfire going. All right. Bye.